Hello everyone and welcome to this week's short video tutorial. This will be a commentary on a match that was played in 2009. Red was Grandmaster Wang Yang, black would be Grandmaster Hong Zhi. Grandmaster Wang Yang was the 2018 Chinese National Champion. Grandmaster Hong Zhi was the 2005 Chinese National Champion. And both are colleagues and are disciples of the legendary Grandmaster Liu Dahua. This match was selected as one of the top 50 brevities in the series that ran in the periodical Qiyi in 2009. As with some of the earlier boards in the same series, the opening variations that are given in the board are too long, but I encourage all to go to the website where I've uploaded all these boards, interactive boards where you can view the video and go through the sub variations one by one. It will be too time consuming to go through these variations in this short video. So without further ado, let us begin. Red started with the horse opening, and black countered with the pawn opening, which is considered one of the one of the best counters against the horse opening, because now the horse will have trouble being developed. It is also one of the most widely used counters for black. And red will usually continue with p3 plus 1, or go for the central cannon, or go for the bell corner cannon, or go for the three-step tiger opening. So as can be seen, there are many sub-variations. In the match, Grandmaster Wang Yang chose to play p3 plus 1, which is a often used tactic whereby when one player pushes the pawn, the other would push a similar pawn in the mirror image of the board. Black develops his right chariot, and red chose to adopt the screen horse formation. And black tries to get his major pieces out as early as possible, which is correct. One of the advocated tenets of opening theory in Xiangqi. Another possibility would be to play the single horse defense for black, whereby this horse would more or less counter any attacking or any aggression from this horse, because it will protect this pawn. Again, this is a very complicated variation, and I advise you to go through the boards by yourself. Red will continue with r9 plus 1 as a counter to black's ranked chariot. Three other options would be developing the right flank, the three-step tiger approach, or developing the left flank, or moving the other, developing the other chariot as a ranked chariot. All of these will lead to complicated situations which are relatively less commonly seen in actual play. So black continued with r1 equals to 7 to immediately add pressure on this file. This is a commonly used tactic. Black counters with c8 equals to 4, threatening to play c8 equals to 7 to add pressure on this file, and thereby actually enticing black to attack this file. Now this is a very proactive play, and at this point in time both colors by the fifth ply have already started attacking. And other commonly played variations would be h3 plus 4. And red would have slight advantage going into the mid game. But black will have a very, very playable game. So in the match, red played proactively with c8 plus 4. And black chose to attack as planned. Now this would signal that the board was there was going to be confrontation of the forces very early on in the game, and Grandmaster Hong Zhi is known for his prowess in very complicated situations. Now if black chose to play h3 plus 2, this will lead to another very complicated situation, and it will be an even situation whereby this position was reached when Grandmaster Xu Yingchuan took on Grandmaster Wang Tianyi in 2012. Red continued with c8 equals to 7 as his intentions and threatening to capture the elephant, ignoring the threat that black had placed on his file. Black countered with e7 plus 5. Now this is a less commonly seen variation nowadays. One of the advantages would be that black will fortify defense on this side of the board and allow the horse to be developed as a EI horse if possible. But usually e3 plus 5 is played nowadays so that red will be immediately denied a target to attack. So for example, if red continue with r9 equals to 8, and after trading material so early in the game, black will still put up a fight. And although red had gained a central pawn, his central cannon would be in danger, and black will still have a very playable game. p7 plus 1 is it's not so good an idea because black would have lost an elephant, and in this situation, although black was piling pressure on this flank, conversely, red will be compensated by adding pressure on this flank. So this would be a very complicated situation and hard to control, hard to control at this point in time. Now both colors will have their scruples. So black chose to play e7 plus 5. Red chose to develop his chariot r9 equals to 8 to target the cannon, forcing the cannon to move to the edge file. And red chose to sacrifice his pawn by charging the horse across the river. Now this was a very daring move, and it showed the versatility of the red horse, which would become a significant factor later on. What would happen if red accepted the trade of pawns? Black would get to develop his chariot at a very nice position. After trading chariots, black would now have developed his left flank, and both colors would be in full attack mode, fighting aggressively for the initiative. Again, this would be a very complicated position, but p3 plus 1 is also a viable option. Instead, red chose to play very proactively with h3 plus 4. Black charged the pawn across the river, and red continued his attack. Black chose to play p5 equals to 1 to discourage or prevent the red horse from playing h6 plus 4. Now, it would be a great mistake if black chose to play r7 plus 3, because the horse will now be threatening to capture the cannon and also go for the elbow horse attack should the opportunity arise. Now black will defend in this manner, and this chariot will now make its presence known. And it will be a good time for the horse to retreat. And red will sacrifice his horse for attack. Check. At this point in time, if the black elephant captured the red chariot, red will go for the pale corners check and capture the black chariot, and there will also be the threat of a checkmate over here. So that is why black chose to capture the horse. And at this point in time, we can see that red will enjoy a very huge advantage. The cannon was ready to attack. Red would have developed all his major pieces. Black would still have yet to develop his left flank. So Red would enjoy a huge advantage if R7 plus 3 were played. So that is why Black chose to play P5 plus 1 to discourage or prevent the horse from attacking. And Red will continue with the central cannon. Black attempts to capture the red cannon, but Red would not have anything to do with it, choosing to capture the central pawn, forcing a delivery and check, and Red will continue to attack. Black would threaten to capture the horse, but at this point in time, Red will be able to maneuver his cannon to the bot corner in the nick of time. Now when the cannon is here and the chariot is over here in this file, Red can be prepared to go for discovered attacks. So Black accepted the horse sacrifice. So at this point in time we can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 Black major pieces versus Red's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So Red has sacrificed a horse in this process. And Red chose to protect his central cannon in this manner. So by the way, for beginners, this is called the Heaven and Earth cannons. One cannon is placed on the central file and the other cannon is placed on the bottom rank. And this would add a lot of pressure on the Black King. Now, in the match, at this point in time, Black played P7 equals to 6. The main idea was to capture the central pawn so that Black could dislodge this central cannon. Unfortunately, he did not anticipate the strength or power of the speed of Red's attack. Instead, post-mortem analysis would show that h8 plus 6 would have been a better move, whereby Black will consolidate his central file. So this were the moves given in the article. So Black will link his horses on the central file, and Black would choose to counter-sacrifice his cannon to bring his king to safety. Check, check. Black attempts to go for a checkmate. Red will try to dislodge the red chariot to decrease some pressure. Check. And Red will gain back lost material. Check. And as can be seen, although Black would have lost his defenses, he will still have a chance in the game, but he will have a slight chance to attack. So this line would have been better than what went on in the actual game. Another option, another move that was discussed was k5 equals to 4. Whereby Black would try to move his king to safety early in the game. If so, Red would immediately mobilize the other chariot to attack, forcing the Black chariot to defend the cannon. Check. And Black will be attacking. The awkward positioning of the Black horses will be a severe headache for Black. And as can be seen, although Black had still had all his major pieces available, Black will be on the receiving end, and Red would have a significant advantage. So in the article, in the match, P7 equals to 6 to attempt to capture the central pawn was played. But as can be seen, C8 equals to 6. Advancing the horse to the elephant's eye, H8 plus 6 would be a better idea. So as the pawns lumbered slowly to the central file, Red chose to develop his right chariot as a ranked chariot, preparing to storm this flank, capturing the central pawn. And Red decided to sacrifice this pawn further, choosing to attack with a check and moving his chariot to this position. Now this is a very beautiful move because black would now not dare to capture the central cannon, or red would simply play r7 -4 to capture the black pawn for a discovered check and capture the black chariot. And neither can the elephant capture the red chariot because the cannon will be delivering a check. So this very gentle but very powerful move will now see that red would have a huge advantage in this situation. Black would develop his left chariot, and red would pile even more pressure on black's right flank. Black tries to defend by linking the cannons and preventing this chariot from advancing. In the match, red played p7 +1. This would be a threat to capture the black pawn and allow red to have more gains. It also allows for development of this horse, as will be seen slightly later on. So at this point in time, black continued. Sorry, I forgot to mention that red could also consider r7 -1 to gain material. Because after r7 -1, this would be a check, and black would be forced to move the horse away, and black would easily gain back lost material if red opted for a more steadfast approach to the situation. Black tried to be proactive and played r9 = 7. Now was the time for red to deliver a discovered check. Red gains back lost material, and the black king runs for his life. But it was too late because once the king moved out, it was vulnerable to the cannon sandwiching chariot checkmate attack. So at this point in time, black resigned, because now red would be threatening to checkmate with c7 +4. If the elephant captured the cannon, red would deliver a check and then capture the cannon and be prepared. As can be seen, this will be a flanking trio attack, and the presence of these three major pieces on black's unguarded right flank will be more than what black can handle. So black would have a hard time resisting red's attack, and that was why he decided to throw in the towel. So red won this game, and there was a comment in the periodical Qiyi which said that this was a rare game between these two players from Hunan. They were colleagues, both disciples of Grandmaster Liu Dahua, and seldom are there matches which show them brawling so aggressively in a match. So I hope you have liked this short video tutorial. Short recap: horse opening, pawn counter. Black chooses to develop his right chariot as a rank chariot and attack the 7th file, and red attacks very aggressively with the pawn rank cannon, pushing the pawn forward. And this mistake was a questionable move by black. And red continued to charge forward in a very proactive attack. Black tries to prevent the red horse from advancing further and chooses to threaten the cannon at this point in time, but red would have none of it and decided to capture the central cannon. And by this, he chose to sacrifice the horse so that he could have an attack on the bottom rank. And by this time, red will have the heaven and earth cannons already in place, and black was in trouble even though he had the material advantage, protecting the central cannon. Another move that was considered to mark the downfall of black. This would be too slow. Instead, h8 + 6 would have been better. So after sacrificing material and gaining the heaven and earth cannons, red continues to pile up pressure by developing both chariots as ranked chariots, preparing to storm this flank. Capturing the central pawn, check, and a very beautiful move to prevent the cannon from being captured. r9 + 1. And red will gain back lost material. And black resigned, because now there was a threat to checkmate, and if black captured the cannon, red would simply advance his chariot to capture this cannon, and the entire flank would be empty, void of defense. So that was why black resigned. So if you like the work that I've been doing, and you like and if you like the work I've been doing, please subscribe to my channel and give this video a like. Thank you.